All right, boys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another banging episode of the Chelsea Goalpost. And today is a crazy episode because we have the first YouTube collab on the channel with the founder and the owner of CFC Talk podcast, Mr. Mohammad Soleja, whose channel I will leave a link to down below. Definitely go and subscribe if you haven't yet. But welcome, man. Welcome to the channel. I'm so grateful to have you on here. How are you feeling, brother?
Thank you for having it. It's nice to be on. Yeah, it's great. I think we all are very excited for the Champions League final,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just can't wait for that for Saturday night to just be over with and have the cup back in England.
Yeah, I definitely super excited, but also super nervous because it has been a tough couple of weeks for Chelsea fans. It comes to no surprise that we make things way harder for ourselves by delaying the top four qualification to the last day and qualifying through not our own merit, but the merit of our nearest and most vicious rivals, Spurs. It's a rival that we love taking digs at, and they make it quite easy as well. But we're all kind of grateful towards them. How do you feel about that horrific display at Villa Park? Because that was just so bad. How do you feel about that performance?
I think it was a performance to forget. I think honestly, yeah, a lot of points that were missing. And we've been saying this for the past few weeks. Even that Leicester defeat in the FA Cup final, there are some issues with the team at the moment. It's just not working out really well. Reece playing at centre back makes zero sense to me. Tammy Abraham being left out of the squad when he's still one of the goal scorers, 6 goals, which is joint with Werner, whereas Tammy's probably hasn't even started the last 2 months. So it's tricky. As much as we blame Tuchel for this, for these performances, we've got to blame the players as well. There's kind of no initiative. We've seen this with this Chelsea team throughout the season. We go a goal down, 2 goals down, and there's no motivation to come back, and we just sit there and we just wait for the match to be over. So yeah, we can blame Tuchel for his decisions and his ways of not playing Tammy and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's the players and their mentality that's not been the best against like Villa. Against Leicester, we kind of saw that. We took charge. We decided, what, they disrespected us with the FA Cup final, and then with the
Yeah.
actions and the way they celebrated and all that stuff. So it was nice to kind of see us take charge, and then against Villa, we just lost it again as we did against Leicester.
Yeah, it seems like a trend almost, and it's been going on since way, I think 2 or 3 seasons ago, since Sari, him bringing up the fact that he was not able to motivate this team, that continuing under Conte in his second season where he got sacked, that continuing towards the end of Frank Lampard's tenure as well, where we just waiting for the announcement to be made, and obviously we were super heartbroken about it, but we just kind of all saw that coming with the motivation the squad is showing within the games that we were playing. And obviously now again under Thomas Tuchel, it seems like confidence is something that this squad thrives on. And when there's lack of confidence, it seems like we're on the rough end of games and the rough end of halves. Uh, Now coming to the main problem that stands out in this squad, it's definitely the conversion rate. We definitely have a problem of putting the ball in the back of the net, and to pin it just on Werner or just on to just put it on the entire team. I think it's also important to understand that I think the way the forwards are playing right now are they are kind of forcing the back line and the defensive unit to be perfect in every single game. What do you think about the situation in terms of our strikers right now? And do you think that the striker right now, Werner, is he going to be the number 9 for next season? How do you see that panning out?
I think I'll firstly go back to the comment you made about confidence, and I feel like we've got the confidence. It's a top team, and we've got players who can motivate each other. It's just that we need them to step up, and like Rudiger did against Leicester, his emotions carried the team, and again. We need more players like that, and it's not just about confidence. At the end of the day, again, as you mentioned, it's about conversion rate, and it's been poor. It's been really poor. You can't be having players like Kai Havertz and Timo Werner play together while they have a convert like they have like 20 goal contributions where it should have been 40, it should have been 35 plus. They should be scoring 20 goals a season, and it is concerning. It is concerning to see that happen. And I'll go back to the same situation, or the same point I made before. Tammy Abraham, where is he at? He scored 20 plus goals the last 2 seasons, and he's been blocked out. Even in the FA Cup final, he should have played that game. He deserved it. If Kepa deserved to start, so he deserved it as well.
Yeah.
So honestly, the striker situation is very tricky at the moment. I think Conte has just been sacked, not sacked, but parted ways with Inter a few hours ago. So there's been reports that Lukaku might be signing, which is going to give Timo some competition and some motivation to kind of prepare better for the games. Even though his mentality is incredible. I mean, every interview we've seen, he's been positive. He's been looking at the bright side, and he's kind of said, you know what, next season's my season. I'm going to come back. So yeah, I think this season I've kind of every Chelsea fan's kind of just given him the green light and to do what he wants for now. But I think next season he's got to prove himself, or else I think Chelsea will be looking to get to replace him.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of money we've spent over the summer, and to just have 1 point more than we ended on last season, I mean, it's not the kind of return we expected. But given the fact that it's a new country, it's a new league, it's a new start for these young boys, we kind of give them the leeway to have these kind of performances. And then, like you said, we definitely going to expect much more next season. Speaking of next season and the news that you just gave me as well, I didn't know that Conte was actually departing. I knew the situation was rough because they didn't have the finances in place. I was also hearing news about them signing a new deal with a new sponsor, which was going to help stabilize the finances, but I think that didn't work out. So now that kind of boosts our hopes to signing Lukaku. And if and when that happens, do you think uh, how do you think that is going to affect the formation that we're going to play with? Because Thomas Tuchel, I think, has hinted at possibly a back four. How do you think this is going to the team's going to set up next season?
I think the best way to look at it right now is that we've got a bundle of defenders, and right now we have, I think, five defenders or four, no, sorry, four center backs,
Yeah.
essentially. And if we do switch to a back four, which we can because we've got the potential in form of Reece James and Ben Chilwell to be able to do the full 90 while running up and down the pitch, and it's his favorite formation. But again, at Chelsea this season, he's had to go with this kind of formation because he didn't really have time to prepare, time to get his own tactics in place, and then do the same things that he's done at PSG. I mean, realistically, he had zero time, 3 days between games, 4 days maximum, before he's had to plan the next one and the next one so far. So yeah, I think he will move back to a back four. He's more comfortable with it, and of course, it gives us more attacking players to play with. I mean, five at the back, and now we only have three attacking players with Jorginho, or when Kante plays, then we've got a defensive midfielder. So realistically, not a lot of players who can create chances. So hopefully next season we'll be able to see Ziyech, Pulisic, Mount, Werner, all these guys on the pitch at the same time. And again, like we did against Aston Villa, we were almost playing before, and at one point we didn't even have a defense. We had 10 attackers playing. So yeah, I think Chelsea has a bundle of attacking players that we're not using at the moment, or there isn't enough space in the team to kind of use and rotate on a regular basis. So I'm sure Tuchel will kind of be looking at that and probably be using them for next season.
Yeah, I definitely think that shift in formation is definitely going to give a big boost to the attack and will provide a lot of fluidity. I think right now it's very rigid in the structure, like the base of the defensive back three, Jorginho and Kante, or Jorginho and Kovacic, whoever it is. I think that structure is very set in stone, and that the load of creating and the load of finishing chances are just on the top three. Obviously, that is the case for many other teams who are also high scoring teams. But with the young talent that we have, the reliance on those three to produce week in and week out, I think is kind of getting to them. Um, the influence of maybe Lukaku coming to this team, I think, would be a massive boost. A massive. I mean, we saw how Werner did in a double striker formation at not Leverkusen, at
Leipzig.
at Leipzig. Sorry,
Leipzig.
yeah. And so I think that would be an absolutely bonkers attack if we manage to bring him in. Uh, but now I think that midfield partnership we just speaking about, I think that's going to be super problematic for us as well, because we've seen the defensive frailties when it comes to the double six and how it's been exploited this season, not just by the big teams but by these mid-table and lower table teams as well. Teams sitting in the low block, how they've been managed to exploit these guys with their pace, with their counter-attacking systems. How do you think how do you think we go about solving that problem? Is there a problem to solve, or are we going to stick with them? Are we going to bring in any new players for that position?
I think the issue doesn't come when we're playing against attacking sides. We saw against Man City how comfortable we were trying to create chances and score, and we won the two games against Man City. It's the issue comes when we're playing teams who like to sit back, who like to play a deep in defense and not attack as much as probably Man City or Man United, who like to play attacking football. And realistically, we Kovacic has been incredible. Who was incredible last season, and under Tuchel, he's kind of come back into this team. The issue right now that we're kind of seeing is Jorginho and Kovacic at the moment. They have their on and off days. On their on days, they're basically incredible. You know,
Yeah.
you could put them against the world's best midfielders and they'll play well. And then there's days where they won't even be able to play Sunday league football. And uh, it's the harsh truth. It's and at that age, especially for Jorginho, it's like you kind of sit there and think about it, and you say, you know what, at that age when you've got like 8-9 years of experience, you don't want to be making those errors. You don't want to be risking a team's performance because of that. Because like look at Arsenal's game, Jorginho's back pass, it was a mistake and
Yeah.
it led to a goal. Against Leicester, they pressured Kovacic, they got the ball, goal, scored, won the game. So not won the game, but they scored the goal.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's we need a backup. We need more midfielders. I think Declan Rice the key one. I think there's still I think there's still doubt over him. Since his price is really high, so I don't think that's going to happen this season. Maybe next season, but yeah, it needs to be done soon. But with Kante, it's just he's good. He's incredible. You know, every Chelsea fan kind of thought, oh, he's coming to the end of his career at Chelsea, but at the end of the day, he proved everyone wrong at the semi-final. The way he played, and he's the way he's been playing. Unfortunate that he couldn't feature against Aston Villa, but I'm sure if he did, he would have played incredibly. So Kante is one that Chelsea would like to save, hopefully for next season, and hopefully if we can get there are a few players on the radar, which is I don't think it's like public yet, or it's not on the outside yet. But there are some players that Chelsea do seem like they might go for, and try and sign and as backups for midfielders next season.
Yeah. I think the midfield is going to be super important when it comes to the game at hand for us, the finals. I think the battle is going to be won in the midfield. Um, what midfield would you go for when it comes to facing Manchester City on Saturday? Because this has been one question I just could not answer. I could not get myself to make the lineups. I haven't yet made my
Okay,
final lineups.
so if Kante is if Kante's fit, I would not even think twice.
Yeah.
You know, I would go as far as to say Kante needs to start if there's even a 50% chance of his injury getting worse. And I say that with respect to Kante, and I'm sure he knows what he's capable of doing. But if you go back to the 2017 or 16 Europa League final that we played,
Yeah.
I can't exactly remember. Kante, we risked him against Arsenal. We saw that performance; it was incredible. He was out for the next 3 months, but we kind of risked him because we knew how important he was. And as people like to say, if Kante's not in the midfield, we're losing the game.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there were some reports today that said Kante and Mendy both trained with the first team today, and there's still 3 more days to go since we're recording this on a Wednesday night. So yeah, hopefully he does come back. Me, Kante's got to start. The other one, it's a bit of a tough one. I think it'll have to be Jorginho, just because the fact that Kovacic's last few performances haven't been great, and he's not 100% match fit, so he's not precise. Maybe bring him on off the bench. And I think the Champions League has 5 substitutes. Is it the Champions League? Or
Yep.
was it the FA Cup?
Yep. 5 substitutes.
5 substitutes. So I think I'll be more than happy to see Gilmore and maybe Kovacic come on towards the end of the game and hopefully finish it off, because realistically no Chelsea fan wants, and I'll be honest, our defense isn't as good as Man City's, and I don't think we'll be able to hold them for 120 minutes and take it to penalties.
Uh,
And I don't think anyone wants to go to penalties in the first place. So I
yeah,
think come
we
out there, first 20 minutes, just kill the game, and score a goal or two, and sit back and enjoy the match. But again, we're Chelsea.
yeah,
How can we
yeah.
complain?
I don't know if you're gonna be the one scoring the first goal, because we saw how City opened up the game against us in the Premier League, in the Premier League game. They came out in the first 10 minutes, was a dominant press from City's point of view. They were pressing us all over the pitch, especially the back line. We found it super hard to build from the back, and we had to resort to long balls, or we were getting caught in midfield. I think Kante had a few dodgy moments, and I was super worried as well. But I think that, yeah, definitely the midfield battle. I'm not sure. I don't know about Jorginho, honestly, because of the last few performances. I do know he's a very influential figure and personality in this team in terms of being a leader in the squad. And I do think that in big games like this, these personalities matter so much. So I'm kind of tilting towards Jorginho, but also Kovacic with his dynamism. I think with the way he can, I mean, play that double six as well as move forward, like the way Kante moves forward. And I think at sometimes when Kovacic plays, he looks just so unpressable. His dribbling is sometimes, people compare it to Hazard, which I don't agree with, but it seems at times like he has that in his
Don't
locker.
don't get me wrong. Any day a 100% fit Kovacic starts above Jorginho, but for me, I think the last few performances haven't been the greatest. Of course, there's a week gap between Aston Villa and Man City,
Hmm.
which could mean that's 6 training days or 5 training days where players can get match fit and can be precise, and if he can do that, then I'll be more than happy, and I'll be the first one to say, you know what, I was wrong to kind of think Jorginho should start, because we know how good he is in taking the ball forward, helping attacks, and as you said, long balls. That's why Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell and Reece James, these three have to start for me. We saw against Aston Villa that long ball from Thiago Silva. Yes, it didn't count, but again, it was a those are the kind of chances those are one-off chances, which if you score, in a final, that those are the only that might matter. Against Leicester, Thiago Silva long ball, Ben Chilwell offside goal, and
Yeah.
then we've seen it so many times this season, even with Werner. Unless Man City resort back to a back four, I think even Werner should start. Um, yeah, for me, I think it's at this point, I think Tuchel's got to sit there and say, you know what, you guys we've got experienced players, we've got youngsters, we've got a mix of both. You know, now
Yeah.
is the time to just kind of motivate them, uh, tell them what it means to play in a Champions League final. I mean, you know, it,
Yeah.
Chelsea fans, we've been waiting for this for 9 years, 10 years now, and I don't wanna say we're gonna lose, but it looks like we're gonna lose. Look at our last few performances; it looks like we're gonna lose. But at the end of the day, we need to fight. We need to keep on going, and we need to keep on fighting for it. If it's 1-0 to City at the end of 90 minutes, but we know we had the better chances. We were trying. We pressed the full 90 minutes, and we play hard and show our passion for the badge. Then I'm sure every Chelsea fan would sit there and say, you know what, it's a good season. It's a good
Yeah.
season. But we can't just go there and in the first 20 minutes concede, because we're not coming back. This City
Yeah.
team won't let us come back from a goal down, 2 goals down.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Just so many moving parts to this game. In terms of how much it means for the fans and how much it means for the season, because it's been a wild season as well. Obviously mid-season change of manager, and this takeover is not been one of many ups and downs, except towards the end. It's been almost like an upward slope for us. We've not expected this, actually. I mean, we should be expecting it, because it usually happens with every manager. The new manager bounces part and parcel of the Chelsea DNA, and the way we've improved over the course of the season, the second half of the season, I think it looked like a different team under than what we looked like under Frank Lampard. In terms of our defense, the way we've not been conceding as many goals. I think we've got about 30 clean sheets this season. Mendy's in line to get Golden Glove for the Champions League. It's been a good season defensively for us, and that is not, we haven't seen that in a long time from Chelsea since Jose Mourinho. And I think the attack, I think, will get sorted out eventually. And I think we've been waiting for moments of consistency, of confidence, of just moments of brilliance from our attackers. And I think that uh, we just hope that it's going to happen on Saturday. I'm hoping it does happen. My prediction is like Werner, Havertz, and Mount up front. What do you think? Who do you think is going to start up front? I don't know if Pulisic needs to start, because I know a lot of people are scapegoating him for his last few performances, but I think this has been overused.
He's not okay. I wouldn't say scapegoating him, because he genuinely deserves some sort of criticism for the last few performances. It's not the Pulisic that we know. It's not the Pulisic that played against Real Madrid.
Definitely,
way. Yeah. So if it's that Pulisic, I'll play him. I said that on the stream today as well. If we're gonna get the Pulisic from Madrid, then let's play him. If not, then I wouldn't even go near him. Ziyech, Werner, and Mount for me. But if Pulisic seems like he might be in form and he might do some damage, because I see a lot of Hazard in Pulisic. The way he runs around, dribbles past players, like I see a lot of him. Yes, he's had a few injuries. He's had his unsuccessful times at Chelsea so far. There's only this one kind of period where he's kind of shown off his skills, and that was again like the last third of the season last year. So honestly, I'm waiting for that Christian Pulisic performance, and I think in the final, I guess in the final, I'm just waiting for one of those guys to step up and say, you know what, Chelsea paid this much for me, but they paid this much for me just to play in the Champions League final and be the difference. And that's how it's kind of justified. Fernando Torres, I think that's one key there. We can go back to £50 million that everyone said we're crazy for paying £50 million, but that Barcelona goal, that is what took us to European glory. It's one of those moments, and I even said on the live stream today, I mean, I'm hoping Mason Mount gets the goal. I think if Mason, my prediction, I'm sure you're going to ask me at the end of the thing, but I'll just go ahead and say, I want Mason Mount to score on the 87th minute, 1-0 Chelsea, and that's it. It silences all the hate. You can't. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Frank Lampard's son, Tuchel's son, Southgate's son, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's won a Champions League at the age of 23, 24. He's going to be a Chelsea legend. He's going to be a Chelsea legend if he continues like this.
Oh my God, that will cement his legacy already at 22 years old, man. Jeez, that's a mad prediction though. I do think it's going to be a 1-0 victory, but I don't know. It's very hard to predict this game, but I'm going to be safe and say 1-0 to Chelsea. Although I do think that
my gut says that it's going to go to penalties and it's going to be Chelsea winning.
Nah, man.
But again, I feel like it's going to go to penalties. What we're underestimating at the moment is both these managers are very tactical. These guys are very tactical.
And we saw that in the last game.
It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, we saw that in the last game as well.
Yeah, it's not like it took 90 minutes for Chelsea to kind of score a goal. So it's not going to be easy at all. Pep Guardiola does seem very confident in his players. He said he doesn't care less about all the situations with the referee and the stadium and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, he's got a lot of experience. I'm sure both these managers, and Tuchel wouldn't want to be the first manager to go into a Champions League final with two clubs, lose 2 times. So both these managers will risk it at the same time, place. They know if it goes to penalties, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50, so they'll want to take it to penalties.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that tactical battle in that Premier League match. And, the first half was just a manager's battle, if I'm being quite honest. We saw Sterling dropping in deep, and then we had Rudiger dropping into the midfield to assist him. But then finally, Gabriel Jesus dropping in as well, and so Werner was off the defender and was marking Rodri, and Billy Gilmore dropped back into the midfield. You know, it was that tactical battle between managers was so cool to watch, but it was also quite boring for other fans. For neutral fans, it is quite boring to watch, but for our fans, I think it was like incredible because these two managers are generational talents, man, in terms of their managerial careers and what they've done. Thomas Tuchel, obviously, he's only recently reached Champions League finals. Pep Guardiola hasn't. This is his first time in Manchester City in a Champions League final. So I don't know how much of a role that will play. Whether he's going to overthink it like he usually did in the last few years in the Champions League. He had that trend of overthinking things, of trying out too many different formations or too many different players, and it didn't work out for him. So that's what I'm hoping for from his side. From Thomas Tuchel, I'm hoping for more of the same. But I doubt it might go to penalties because I think I think City are either going to have a really good performance or we're going to frustrate the hell out of them and probably dominate in every aspect of the game. That's how I see it going. But nonetheless, I think City have had a massively improved season since last year, even though they haven't made like bombing transfers except maybe Diaz. But I think overall they've had a really good season. So winning this would just be the cherry on the top. But for Chelsea, this would mean much more than it would mean for City. I think with 9 years of no Champions League trophy. Yeah, this is going to be mad game. I think
it's
going to
more
go
than that.
In what sense? Yeah,
I think it's more than that because we've lost 8 finals in the last 8 of our last 11 finals. So we don't want to turn into Tottenham and we don't want to be butlers. So we want to win this final. I think it's the fault. I will say if Chelsea would have won if they would have won the FA Cup and gotten top 4 comfortably, Chelsea fans would be fine by losing the Champions League final because this is a bonus. Yeah. But the fact that we've lost the final already, we've almost messed up top 4. Yes, Spurs helped us. This is our redemption. This is what flips the coin aside. This is what kind of puts Tuchel back on the board and says, you know what? Whatever happened. Tuchel got 6 months. He won the Champions League. He got top 4. We compete again next season with hopefully Lukaku coming in, hopefully Declan Rice, a few other midfielders that we're talking about. All these guys coming in, and if Kai Havertz and Timo Werner go off, then it's done. I think City, Liverpool, Man United, these are the 4, with Chelsea, these are the 4 title contenders, and I think we could pull off a City and go on 10 to 15 game win streak and get the title back at the bridge, hopefully by next March or April. But yeah, I think it's tough to say. I think it all depends on this final, in my opinion. Yeah. But there's no way am I going to sit here on the 30th of May or 31st and say Tuchel needs to go, because the guy's done incredible. The aim was to get top 4. He's gotten that. He's given us an FA Cup final. He's given us a Champions League final. So if we lose, we get a taste of it. We go at it again next season. If we win, then you know what? He's already won the one prize Roman loves so much. And hand him a contract extension, back him up with signings, and next season he'll bring you the Premier League as well, because he's capable of doing it, and this group of players are capable as well.
Yeah, 100%. I don't understand what some of the fans are going. Are probably saying that Tuchel needs to be sacked if we lose it. I definitely don't agree with that. Thomas Tuchel has done an incredible job. I don't think any other manager would have done that in such a short period of time with this squad. Obviously, it's a blessing to get this squad, but it's still a job to do when you're playing in 3 different competitions week in and week out. I think 3 fixtures every single week. It's tough, man. It's tough, but I think
it's tougher though. It's tougher to play with a squad like this, because what excuse do you have? You have the world's best or one of the most promising talents from Germany, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner. You've got a incredible goalkeeper in the sense of Edouard Mendy, and you've got players who are world-class players. So as a coach, it's tougher to manage a team like this than to manage, let's say, Chelsea 3 years ago when Lampard came in, or 2 years ago when Lampard came in and he had to use academy graduates, because that time there's not as much of an expectation on you, because you know what, it's academy players. But then here, when you've spent 200 300 million on the squad, you kind of think to yourself, you know what, I've spent 300 million, I need to prove that, you know, this 300 million was worth it. And he might have done some of it with top four, because that was the aim, you know, 10th from 4th, that's a good season for Chelsea. um and honestly, I'm hoping this win, and again, as I said, flip the coin around, and celebrations on the 30th, or on the 29th, even on the
Let's hope.
29th night.
Let's hope, man. But this has been amazing, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No worries.
Um, if you let the people know where to find you, drop in your socials, your YouTube channel.
I'll just drop in the CFC Talk podcast channel on YouTube if you guys want to subscribe. We do podcasts before and after every match. I think we'll be releasing our next one on Thursday, if you're watching this on a Friday, depending on when it releases. Yeah, other than that, I think that's all.
That's great, bro. That's great. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
If you guys like this kind of content, you want more of it, do not forget to let me know down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace out.